Hello guys, this is Ian Fairley, and welcome to another episode of my Dinosaur series. Last time on our Dinosaur series, we talked about how ceratopsians defended themselves, defended their herd, fought each other, and went over the females. We also talked about how ceratopsians took care of their horns so they can be careful around their herd and themselves. So for this episode, I am going to be talking about two different dinosaurs from the Late Triassic Period, the Celophysis and the Platyosaurus. But before we dive right into that, let's talk about the Triassic Period. 250 million years ago, the Triassic Period was one of the first time periods of all three time periods of the Mesozoic era. During that time, the Earth's land mass concentrated and transformed into a supercontinent called Pangaea. And when I say supercontinent, that means all 7 continents of the Earth have combined themselves together to create one big land. Now that's a huge world for dinosaurs of the Triassic period after all, with all 7 continents combined together like a puzzle piece. Or maybe 6 continents. Antarctica might not have been included. And since Pangaea was created with different continents, some of the dinosaurs might not have lived in the same continents. The Triassic period is also the place where the first dinosaurs stepped into their world, though some of them may have appeared to be small and lived in fear of giant reptiles, like crocodiles. I would like to talk about the other 2 time periods, but I'll save that for another episode. Until then, without further ado, let's dive into the 2 dinosaurs, like Celophysis and Platyosaurus. Though I might have to add in an extra dinosaur from the Triassic period called the Herrerasaurus. Let's start with Celophysis. The name Celophysis comes from the meaning hollow form because of how thin its legs are, and most of its entire body at least. But I might not know when animals have hollow bones, but let me tell you, Celophysis had to be very careful with itself when it's in the wild. And speaking of bones, Celophysis' remains were discovered in New Mexico in the United States during the year of 1947. When the paleontologists discovered the bones of Celophysis, it seemed to have something in its mouth which was thought to be its own baby, so Celophysis might have been thought as a cannibalistic dinosaur, in which that case means that most dinosaurs even ate their young. However, as it turned out, Celophysis actually had a lizard in its mouth, meaning it hunted small lizards and small mammals, small insects, and even small birds. And like most predators, Celophysis often hunted in packs, similar to how hyenas do it. The height of the Celophysis is unknown for the moment, but the length of its body was about 10 feet long. That's about as bigger than a chicken. Celophysis can run as fast as 30 miles per hour. That's about as fast as a wild boar, a hippo, and a grizzly bear. Celophysis belonged to a group of dinosaurs known as Celorosaurs. The scientific term Celorosaur refers to small bipedal carnivores with long forelimbs, in which that case even birds have evolved from species like the Celorosaurus. Now that we've covered just about all the facts of Celophysis, let's talk about our next dinosaur, the Platyosaurus. The name Platyosaurus means flat or broad lizard because of how flat its teeth were. Platyosaurus belonged to a group of dinosaurs known as prosauropods. So basically they were still long-necked dinosaurs, just smaller versions of the sauropods. But as far as evolution goes, prosauropods eventually turned into sauropods. And since prosauropods were smaller than the regular sauropods, at least they traveled in herds to protect themselves against predators. In year 1834, Platyosaurus bones were discovered in Central and Northern Europe and Greenland. Over 100 skeletons of Platyosaurus have been found all across Europe. I never been anywhere out of North America. I wish I could go and visit Europe. Platyosaurus has the length of 30 feet and a weight of 1,300 pounds. That's about as big as a killer whale. Although it uses 4 legs as well as its 2 legs, Platyosaurus was considered a bipedal herbivorous dinosaur. It's like saying a grizzly bear can stand on 2 legs, but it is a quadrupedal animal, meaning it could run and walk on 4 legs. And now, so far we talked about Celophysis and Platyosaurus. Now on to our last dinosaur for this episode, the Herrerasaurus. None of you might have heard about this dinosaur. Herrerasaurus got its name when it was named after paleontologist Victorino Herrera. You know, it's actually kind of interesting that paleontologists named their dinosaurs after themselves. In year 1958, Victorino discovered the remains of the Herrerasaurus in South America, Argentina. Which reminds me, I wish I could go visit South America and go to places like Argentina and Brazil. For several years, the classification of Herrerasaurus is unknown for the moment because of its strange appearance. But what we know about Herrerasaurus for sure was that it was a carnivorous dinosaur. That means it was likely to prey on big to little reptiles and, if even possible, small dinosaurs or even some of the big dinosaurs. Herrerasaurus might have either hunted in packs like today's killer whales or hunted alone like today's leopard seals. Herrerasaurus was about the same size as Celophysis, about 10 feet long. Still, the height is unknown, but it's probably bigger than your average room door. And there you have it, folks. Those are all 3 different dinosaur species from the Triassic period. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave the likes in the comment section and subscribe to this channel. Next time on my dinosaur series, we will talk about 2 different dinosaurs from 2 different time periods, and they're herbivores too, known as Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus. See you guys next time. Peace.